Imagine a world without oxygen. What would it be like? Life in a world without oxygen would be drastically different. Firstly, the types and evolution of living organisms would be greatly affected because the lack of oxygen would inhibit the respiration process, which is vital for most life forms. Plants would be unable to photosynthesize and produce oxygen in the atmosphere. In this case, organisms that need another source of energy to live in the absence of oxygen might have to evolve. Life forms based on chemical energy may have evolved in such a world. In addition, the absence of oxygen in the atmosphere would change how surface temperatures and climate are affected. Oxygen often acts as a greenhouse gas in the atmosphere, helping to keep the Earth's surface warm. An atmosphere without oxygen could remove this warming effect, leading to very different climatic conditions. It would be very difficult for humans to survive in such a world without the technological development of oxygen-producing systems. In disciplines such as science fiction or astrobiology, various scenarios have been put forward to consider life in oxygen-free environments. For example, the basis of life in an oxygen-free world could be a different chemical process. Gases such as methane or hydrogen could be used for respiration and energy production. The presence of such organisms could indicate a different metabolic pathway. It is also thought that in places such as underground habitats, microorganisms may be able to adapt to the lack of oxygen. Such microorganisms may live in underground water sources or deep underground caves. However, it would be quite difficult for humans to live directly in such an environment, as the lack of oxygen would prevent us from living. However, in a technologically advanced future, humans could develop various methods to adapt to such environments. For example, technologies such as oxygen-generating devices or space capsules. So how would we be affected if the world was deprived of oxygen for just 5 seconds? Imagine if all the oxygen in the world disappeared. Not forever, just for 5 seconds. Would we be able to hold our breath? What would happen to the atmosphere? How would the environment change? In just 5 seconds, the Earth as we know it would look very different. All the pieces of metal would instantly weld together. The reason metals do not weld on contact is because they are covered with an oxidation layer. Everyone would get sunburnt because harmful UV rays would penetrate our bodies. Oxygen makes up the majority of the ozone layer, which protects the biosphere by absorbing harmful UVB radiation. Everyone's inner ear would explode. Our ears would not be able to withstand the change in air pressure equivalent to being beamed to the top of the Andes, about 2,000 meters. Every concrete building would turn to dust. Oxygen is an important binder in concrete structures, and without it the compounds cannot remain rigid. All the aeroplanes in the sky would suddenly start to fall. The internal combustion engines of aeroplanes would be useless without oxygen and would stop working. The Earth's crust would collapse. Oxygen makes up about 45% of the Earth's crust and mantle. The Earth would be a darker place. Light from the sun is scattered on Earth by particles in the air. Without oxygen, there would be no scattering. Seas, oceans, ponds, in short, all water would evaporate. Since water contains 2 hydrogen molecules and 1 oxygen molecule, the hydrogen will evaporate as the oxygen disappears. All marine life would disappear. If there was no water, there would be no marine life. As the average adult human body is 60% water, we would not be able to continue living either. All living cells would explode. Living cells are made of oxygen, and in its absence, hydrogen turns to gas. This leads to the explosion of all living cells. Devices powered by Li-air batteries would shut down. A Li-air battery cell generates voltage from the availability of oxygen molecules at the positive electrode. If there is a loss of oxygen, devices powered by this battery would not work. There would be no fire. All devices powered by spark would stop working. In order for fire to occur and the combustion process to continue, 3 elements are required. In chemistry, this is called the combustion triangle. 1. Material to be burned in the environment, fuel. 2. Oxygen. 3. Ignition temperature, energy. If the oxygen leaves this triangle, combustion won't take place. The Earth would suddenly supercool for 5 seconds, and a new world could begin. Doesn't sound like fun, does it? Fortunately, you can take a deep breath and know that this will never happen. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.